Hello, today is our highlight and underline day for the week. We have switched into Unit 5, so you will need to change your MyView book to the Unit 5. It says K-5 down here on the bottom. So make sure that you have your Unit 5 MyView book. When we read our story today, we will be thinking about two things. We'll be thinking about the main idea and details of the story. And if you look on page 26 and 27 of your new MyView book, you can learn a little bit about informational text and main idea and details. Remember that the details tell about the main idea. The second thing we'll be thinking about today is making inferences. When we infer, we take what we already know and the clues from the text, and we're going to put them together to make a conclusion or our best guess. So let's get started. Go ahead and turn your book to Weather Around the World on page 29. Remember, you'll need something to underline and something to highlight with.
Weather Around the World, written by Andre Nagapo. Many places in the world have extreme weather. Some places are very cold. Some places are very hot. Some places are very rainy. Some places are very windy. People find ways to live in all of these places. Close read. What place does the first picture show? Underline the words that name the place.
All right, so if I look on page 30 and 31 in my book and I look at the first picture, on page 30, I see a picture of the world. So now I need to find the words that name the place that this picture is showing right here. And I look and I see the first sentences say, many places in the world. So I am going to underline many places in the world. Go ahead and do that now. And then turn to page 32.
In Alaska, it is very cold. People make huts out of snow. The walls block out the cold winds. In the desert, it is often very hot. People live in tents. The tents keep the hot air out. Close read. How do people live in very cold and very hot places? Underline the words that tell what the pictures show.
So for this close read, we are looking closely at the pictures to answer the question. And there are two parts to this question. The question is asking, how do people live in the very cold? So I am going to turn back to page 32, and I have to look to see, how do people live in the very cold? I see that there's snow here. The words say, in Alaska, it is very cold. People make huts out of snow. The walls block out the cold winds. So how do those people live in the very cold? The people make huts out of snow. Go ahead and underline that sentence. People make huts out of snow. The second part of our question asks how people live in very hot places. So I will find my answer on page 33. And this is a picture of the desert. The desert is often very hot. Here the words say, people live in tents. The tents keep the hot air out. So how do people live in the desert or someplace very hot? They live in tents. I'm going to underline. People live in tents. Go ahead and underline with me now. And then turn the page to page 34.
In China, it can be very rainy. People make hats out of plants. They wear the hats when they work. In Antarctica, it is very windy. Scientists live and work in buildings of many shapes and sizes. Close read. Why do people in China wear hats when they work? Highlight the words that help you know the answer. Use the picture too.
Okay, this close read asked me about China and why people wear hats. So I need to look at page 34 and I'm going to use the picture and the words that help me figure out why people wear hats in China. This is where we will infer. So I'm looking at the picture. Looks like the people are wearing jackets and pants that are really wet and slippery. And it looks like they're walking outside. Now I'm going to read the words. In China, it can be very rainy. Oh, so the words tell me that it's rainy in China. Many people make hats out of plants. They wear the hats when they work. So I can infer that people make hats and wear them when they work because it's raining outside. So they wear the hats to protect themselves from the rain. Let's highlight the words that tell us. Let's say, in China, it can be very rainy. People make hats out of plants. They wear the hats when they work. Go ahead and highlight all 3 sentences on that page. And then turn the page to page 36 when you're ready.
Around the world, people find ways to live with extreme weather. Choose a place you just read about. What would you do to be able to live there?
Thanks for highlighting and underlining with me today, kindergartners. Your assignment to go with this story is on page 41 in your MyView book, and it is about making inferences. It wants you to draw and write. You're going to answer the question, why do people in China wear hats to help them work? Draw a picture and try writing at the bottom to tell and answer that question. Have a great day.